day one of Craft Week, and it's time for another edition of Cookbook Club. And making dumplings, oh, that is definitely not only a craft, it's an art. It's actually been on my bucket list for my entire life. And I'm going to get to learn how to make them from none other than Wilson Tang. He is the owner of Nam Wa Tea Parlor, the first ever iconic dim sum restaurant that's been feeding Chinatown, New York for 100 years. It's Wilson Tang.
Hi.
I am starstruck.
Oh, stop.
I'm not kidding.
Well, I'm starstruck.
Dumplings are, and now my daughter, her favorite thing is pork dumplings.
Oh, perfect. We're going to be making some shrimp and pork dumplings. Let's get started.
Let's do it.
Okay, so what we have here already is the ground pork, shrimp, and mushroom mixture already in the bowl. So shiitakes typically come like this, dried. How you activate this is just put it in some water, and it'll come into it'll kind of bloom like a flower.
Yeah.
So from left to right, we have sesame oil, and we can just pop this in as
toss
we
it
go.
on top.
We have some white pepper. Next thing is just chicken bouillon or chicken powder. That's what you have.
And that's in like every one of the dumpling recipes.
Yeah, use it sparingly, just a little bit. We like using it in a dumpling mixture just because it gives a little punch and flavor.
No, it's delicious.
Yeah.
I get it. So I can pour this over
Yeah,
too?
yeah, you throw all that in. The next thing is a little bit of sugar.
Sugar. Interesting.
Yeah. Salt. And finally, just a little bit of cornstarch, which will help bind the mixture together.
Cornstarch is king.
So after you got all the dry ingredients and the oil, sesame oil in here, you kind of just mix this up.
Okay.
I think we're ready to wrap.
Oh, and they're kept under a wet towel.
Yes, and
which it says in the book.
Yes. So the wet towel really
Keeps
is
it
trying
from
to keep
drying it out.
Yeah, keeping it moist.
Yeah.
You're ahead of the game.
Well, when I say that I'm a cookbook club collector, I really truly read them like novels.
That's awesome. Well, I think you'll enjoy our cookbook because it's not only just recipes of the restaurant.
There's the tea purveyor and the history and how
so that might be a little
too much.
big.
Okay, what's
Here,
a good rule?
Switch to this.
Okay, like a teaspoon.
Yeah, just put.
I think it said 1.5 teaspoons.
Yeah, so you just put some right smack in the middle.
Okay.
Right? And here's the hard part, right? Here's some water. You dip the water, and.
Okay, so you want the water to be like the glue on the rim. So you circle the edge.
Right. And then what you do first is you press the middle, make sure that's really down pat, and then you just fold over, and then fold over again, and then you just squeeze. Now you have something that looks like that.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah?
That's pretty good, yeah.
I know that you have such an extraordinary story.
Yeah, I mean, I was a typical, Chinatown kid, a son of immigrants. As for immigrants, for my parents, being in the restaurant industry was their only choice because of just language and being new to the country. So for me, going to college, getting a white-collar job was super important for them. And I ended up doing that. I graduated from college and had a job at Morgan Stanley. And, then 9/11 happened. And that really kind of changed my way of looking at life.
And you were in the tower.
Yeah. So I'm like what they say, a 9/11 survivor.
I mean, I've heard you speak on the Vice interview that I watched of yours. I mean, you were in the tower. You were asked to walk down the stairs.
Wow, you did your homework, huh?
And and somewhere in the teens they said, it's okay, you can go back up, and you decided not to.
Where I was, I would have needed to walk up back to 44 to catch the express elevator up. So it was actually laziness that got me out of the building. And once I got out of the building, I'm like, this is not good. And that's when I decided to
And you walked back to Chinatown.
Yes, where my dad was working.
And the second plane hit the tower.
Yes, yeah. And so I'm lucky to be alive today.
And you took over your uncle's restaurant, turned it into an empire with multiple restaurants.
It's been a great ride. I've been doing this for over 10 years. And I think the cookbook really kind of hones everything together. The cookbook is not only about the stories and recipes of the restaurant. It's about the mom and pops and all these characters in my community. But lastly, it's also about like a legacy piece for myself. So it was definitely multifaceted, and not only are we doing fun stuff making dumplings, but it's definitely a book for Chinatown.
All right.
Okay, after you've made, a bunch like this, right, you would essentially have a steamer set up like this.
I have one of these.
Okay, so very little water on the bottom, and you got this set up. And when you steam it, anywhere between 8 to 10 minutes.
8 to 10 minutes.
Will be good. You can eat it just like this, or you can just kind of put it into some oil.
And according to the book, it's 1 minute per side.
Right. And again, the thing you have to remember is this is already cooked through. So what you're really trying to do is just get some color and texture. So how's yours look so far? Looking okay?
Really good.
Yeah? Okay.
Like, it's happening. It's on. All right. Oh my gosh!
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah.
I feel like Tom Hanks in Castaway. I'm like, Wilson!
Wilson!
Oh my gosh! Look at
That's
this!
the color.
Woo! Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. My first dumpling ever. Oh my God. Oh my God. Listen. Wilson! Okay, Wilson. So for Cookbook Club, we brought each other cookbooks to share.
Oh, yes. I have mine.
I have mine too.
This is mine.
Okay, what's yours?
So this is called Serving New York, made by an organization called ROAR, but the acronym stands for Relief Opportunities for All Restaurants. A lot of New York City chefs have donated a recipe into this book, and all the proceeds go back to the organization to help with the restaurant workers
Right,
and
restaurant recovery.
just the whole industry as a whole. It's going to be a tough road ahead, so this is what I am gifting to you and recommending for people to buy, and because the proceeds go to a good cause.
Well, I'm very excited to add it to my collection. And for you, I have Inside Chef's Fridges. This is the European edition. It is the coolest cookbook. So when a chef comes on, they show you what they have in their fridge and how to cook with it. And it is the most incredible collection of extraordinary chefs.
That's so cool to take a peek into a chef's fridge.
Yeah.
It's like going into their closet or something.
I know. And exactly. It's like going into a designer's closet, and then they teach you how to put together a fabulous recipe from it.
Amazing.
So this is my cookbook for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wilson. Thank you. This is the biggest
treat. To you.
Cheers, dumpling cheers. Thank you, Wilson.
Thanks for having me.
Go to the DrewBarrymoreShow.com for the full recipe and the cookbooks.